Hey bookworms, welcome back to my channel and to another review, and today I'll be talking about Sweet Tooth by Ian McEwan. Now this was my first Ian McEwan book and I wasn't really sure what to expect. The only other book by him that I could think of was Atonement, and from what I know it's a pretty heavy drama, correct me if I'm wrong. And I suppose I expected it from this one too, despite the cutesy name. But before I tell you if the book was heavy or not, let's talk plot. This novel takes place in 1970s England and our protagonist is Serena, a young small-town woman who finds herself working for the MI5 and becomes involved in an operation that has to do with communism and the literary world. So, where to begin? First thing first, I really enjoyed the book. It was a rather short read, the book isn't very long. It was a drama, but not heavy at all. It was rather interesting, but do keep in mind that this is not a James Bond espionage book. There's pretty much zero action in here, which was a bit of a downer. I thought maybe there would be some thriller elements here, but there wasn't. Serena's job is very paperwork oriented, so it's good to know before you read a book. On the other hand, it's not the boring, monotonous, cumbersome experience that was Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, so that's a plus. This novel is rather female-oriented. A lot of it is Serena and her many lovers. Not judging her for having many lovers, but I do judge her a little bit on just how quickly she gets into bed with men and her choice of men. Not because they're no good assholes, but because it's mostly people she works with or under. No pun intended. With that, I do have a little bit of a problem. And she is the one who's initiating this hookup, so cool girl power moment, I suppose, but major fraternization infraction. Speaking of, I really appreciate it when male writers write good female characters without turning them into stereotypes or some sort of wish fulfillment fantasy. I believe you can totally write characters that have different experiences to yours, whether it's gender, race, culture, etc. But you need to do your research and treat your subject with respect, which he did, and it was great. Serena isn't the smartest pencil in the box. I believe that after graduating from Cambridge, she made a good impression and slept with a professor. And the state of mind in the 70s was, well, women are just ditzes, and this one reads books and looks good, so let's hire her. Anyway, she isn't the smartest person ever, but she feels like a real person. She's very likable, her problems are relatable, her actions understandable. Plus, part of the book is dedicated to how it was for a woman to work in such a male-dominated environment, such as the MI5 in the 70s. It's well done, very tastefully, without also turning all men into stuffy, corporate, misogynistic pigs that think that women shouldn't be anything but secretaries. Don't get me wrong, there are characters like that in the book. There are still today people like that, but I didn't feel that the novel resorted to men shaming or men hating or making all male characters awful stereotypes. However, if I had to point out one negative in the novel, it would have been that, in my personal opinion, the book didn't go enough into certain interesting themes it could have explored. There's so much potential for some mystery or thriller elements in this setting, but I guess it was a conscious choice. But regardless, I did feel like the book kind of jumps around things, and I would have liked to see some more focus on one theme. It does focus eventually, but the sublet starts rather late in the novel. Also, not sure if it's again a conscious choice, not sure if it's a negative, it's more like an observation. But Serena is a very passive protagonist. Pretty much everything that happens to her is brought into her life by other people, mostly men. On one hand, people generally do like more active protagonists, a person who does things instead of things just happening to them. But on the other hand, it kind of fits with both Serena's personality and the time where men were in charge and women had less autonomy even in their own lives. Since this is a theme in the novel, I believe the choice to make Serena a passive protagonist was on purpose, but I just wanted to point it out. So to conclude, this was a rather enjoyable book, a quick read that was very interesting and presented a setting that I don't often read about: women in the counterintelligence agency during the Cold War and the communist panic. I understand that Ian McEwan's other novels tend to be a bit more serious, so perhaps it was a good introduction to his books, although I have to admit, this book didn't really resonate with me. In a month, I'll probably forget half of it, but it's okay, not every book has to be life-changing. So guys, this is where I'm going to end my video. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to click the like button to show your support and subscribe to my channel if you dare. And also write down in the comments section if you read other books by Ian McEwan and if you have any recommendations for me. I always like it when you guys recommend me something good to read. So guys, again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.